In this course, we will cover all the learning outcomes that can be tested by the IMA. But in this section, planning, budgeting, and forecasting, I'm just going to focus on the key concepts that are on all IMA, CMA exams. Now, you should know that this part of the exam is 20% of the total, and it is one of the higher weighted sections in Part 1. Certain areas within this section are more frequently tested than others, and we will cover them. These areas tend to align with practical, calculative, and conceptual topics that appear often in both the multiple choice part of the exam as well as the essay part. What are the most tested learning outcomes in Section B? Well, number one is budget methodology and the different types of budgets. Of course, there's the master budget, but the main components of the master budget would be the production budget, materials purchasing budget, as well as the overhead budgets. Then there's flexible versus static budgets. Now, this is more in the C section of the learning outcomes, but it's combined with the budgeting in the B section for some calculative questions. You should know what an activity-based budget is, as well as a zero-based budget, and rolling budgets, and that Japanese thing called the Kaizen budget. Know those different methods. Why are these frequently tested? Well, questions here often require preparing budget components or comparing budget types. Secondly, there are forecasting techniques. Now, here you must know both qualitative and quantitative. The quantitative methods, such as linear regression analysis, learning curve modules, and time series analysis, but mostly learning curve models. The qualitative methods are less calculated heavy, but are more conceptual, so you know why the pros and cons of each of those tools. Also know pro forma financial statements. They are based on forecasts. Why are these frequently tested? Forecasting questions commonly involve calculating and interpreting results for planning. You should know the budgeting concepts and be aware of the difference between top-down budgeting and bottom-up budgeting, because characteristics of a successful budget is that they are participative and realistic. Now, flexible budgets mean we're going to compare our budget against actual, and that's more in Section 3. But it's combined here in Section B. Some of the questions may tie those two together. Know the behavioral aspects of budgeting. What is budgetary slack? Why are these frequently tested? Well, conceptual questions on the advantages and disadvantages, as well as ethical implications of budgeting, are often tested. Now, the last major section is annual profit planning, as well as supporting schedules. You should be aware and be able to prepare budgeted income statements, cash flow statements, and pro forma balance sheets. And you know how to integrate sales forecasts into the operational budgets. Less frequently emphasized, but still very important, as long-term strategic planning modules. Now, you should know them as overview rather than be able to prepare any of that. Advanced topics like probability analysis and forecasting may also be conceptually tested. Okay, you should know that variance analysis and performance measurements are often tested. Performance measurements such as responsibility-centered transfer pricing, they often overlap heavily with Section C, which is performance management. And that section is also 20% of the exam. So mastering Section B often helps you in those other areas. And you should know that 15 to 25 of the multiple choice questions that you would be asked will be from sections B and C combined, because calculations are required and they're prominent in budget preparation and forecasting regressions. Again, budget preparation, know the production budget and the material purchasing budget, because both of them have beginning and ending inventory in their calculations. And that quite often is what they test you on. Also, for the essay part of Part 1 exam, those questions are frequently drawn from the budgeting sections. That is, preparing the cash budget or discussing budget methodologies. Now, to maximize your score on the exam, focus on calculation topics such as budgets and forecasting. Those questions will be weighted heavier than conceptual questions. But at the same time, you must ensure that you can demonstrate a strong conceptual understanding of the material. Now, practice these questions. Practice them over and over again, extensively. I have courses on Udemy that I will invite you to if you send me an email to drjohn@youraccountingprof.com. And I also include many of the past exam multiple choice questions in this course so that you practice applying your knowledge. And I wish you all the best of luck in your preparation.